So we're talking about the War Raiders, okay?
War Raiders.
So
the Vikings.
the Viking Raiders came back, um, but Eric was injured for a while. Valhalla's out pregnant now. They were the War Raiders in NXT. They were the Viking Experience for like one show before the fans demanded a change, and they changed it
The worst name for a tag team
swear
ever.
to God, to the Viking Raiders.
What
And then
kind
they
of
were that
crack
for a while.
was Vince on that night?
I don't, dude. I'll tell you what crack
You
he
know
was
what?
on.
The
Crack he
Viking
had generic.
Experience.
No, I'm just kidding. Oh my God.
Big.
Sounds like a weird ass
Too far,
roller
too
coaster
far,
ride
too
or
far.
something like that.
He was, um, would that be insensitive? Probably. Fuck it.
I didn't even hear what she said.
I said Vince was on Janelle's crack.
Oh shit! No, that's hilarious.
Oh my God. All right. So the War Raiders, repackage. I know Kelly, you didn't know much about them.
I watched a little bit of it. Listen, I watched their return, and I'm going to tell you right now, no pop.
Yeah. So they were huge in NXT. They ever since they hit the main scene though, they kind of flatlined. And I guess this is Triple H's attempt to do that, to revive them. Now, he's done this before, okay? AOP and Karrion Kross, right? DIY. He's trying to bring back his success stories. The question is, can it work? Now it seems to be working with DIY finally. We still haven't seen much from the Final Testament and AOP, but in my opinion, this is a good answer to that. The War Raiders and AOP kind of, they're both big boys that move fast. They could do something there, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, listen, my thing is with them is I noticed that when they came up, there wasn't a big fan reaction, but there was a big online action, right? Reaction to it. And from what I know, one of them trained a lot of WWE stars that are in the business right now. He was actually a trainer. So he's these guys are well respected. And I think it's good for the tag team division. I feel like they need more of these gimmick tag teams. Or just not even, I wouldn't say gimmick, but like same gimmick,
Branded.
Branded tag teams. It brings
Not
a little
just these like makeshift tag teams and shit like that.
Right.
Like we need more like actual like they're one like kind of tag team. Like like how the Hardys were back in the day,
Right.
or like
Like
the
a unit.
Dudleys, like same gimmick, same like a gimmick tag team, not just like two really good wrestlers put together. Like we need like more like gimmick tag.
Yeah, Steiner Brothers, Harlem Heat.
If I see these two guys, I know they're a tag team, And the thing is, you were saying there was a lot of online reaction. And I'm going to tell you why you didn't see the pop in the stadium, but you've seen online reaction. And that's because a lot of the black and gold era NXT fans are now AEW fans.
Makes sense.
So that's why you'll see it online reaction.
Gotcha.
But that could be a good thing. You could, this is doing things like this could be taking fans back.
Hey, a couple of good matches and they're sold. You know what I mean? A couple of good storyline and they're in like Flint. So yeah, I think real wrestling fans know them. You feel me? So they at least have that, and Triple H should give them a chance, like you said, and because him and Sean are boys over there with NXT and all that, and.
I'm gonna bring it down to another tag team that didn't really get a great pop coming out, but online, and amongst the wrestlers themselves, their reveredness. We're talking about the debut of the Motor City Machine Guns. What do you think about that, JT?
Me personally, they're I would say they're a legendary tag team and like TNA and stuff like that. But I feel like if it was like 10, 15 years ago, I think, it would be really huge. But right now, like I don't know. It's kind of too early to tell. They're both like, older now. They're not in their prime. It could work, but longevity wise, like how long are they gonna last? How long are like fans gonna get behind them? Like I don't know. Like me right now, I'm not too sold because they just debuted it, but I don't know. Like I said, they're older now. Like we'll have to see how they
Yeah,
do. Like you could have said the same thing about like AJ Styles and stuff like that when he
he got the
finally
same
came to
reaction
WWE.
and same opinion as I'm hearing and seeing with them. So and now he's one of their biggest stars. And the thing about them that I like is, and a lot of people thought they were going to NXT because of their veteran skills and they were going to help build tag teams, but I think they're in SmackDown for the same exact reason. Look how many teams are on SmackDown. We got like 10 tag teams now that are active on weekly shows. And now you got this team coming in and they're putting high pace and they're showing these guys in the ring and they're motivating them and they're putting a fire under their ass and so I think them being here is going to be really good. And honestly, I think they're going to win those straps ASAP. I think they're going to win the straps so they face all these teams and get them really fired up and going in the ring and kind of push them on the spot and get these teams juiced up and get people interested in them and then drop them to somebody. And then, I think they're in SmackDown for a reason right now. These SmackDown titles, they're the better looking titles. They got the better tag teams right now. Um, I think that's a big thing for them. Just like the War Raiders, like you said, they have the experience. They just need the right thing. I think Mondays, Raw is kind of pushing the same avenue but they're not there yet. I think SmackDown has more than enough tag teams right now to really make a tag division hot. And Motor City Machine Guns, in my opinion, that's where they need to be. They don't need to build new tag teams. They need to be in there with the tag teams, leading the charge, in the ring with them, telling them, do this, do that, do this, do that, fire up, slow down, work the crowd, boo woo. They need that coach in the ring with them, controlling those matches and getting all those teams over and active. In my opinion, what you think about
Yeah,
that,
and then
expert?
adding, more experienced tag teams are only gonna help the brand too.
Right?
Because in my opinion, tag team wrestling is just as important as like the main event scene and all that. Like you could put a really good match for with tag teams because you can do more with like the wrestlers, like the
Yeah,
tag team moves, the storytelling.
yeah,
You could do so much with tag team wrestling. And the thing about Vince, when he was in charge, he hated tag team wrestling. And then you seen how Triple H was when he ran NXT. He was putting on bangers and bangers and bangers for
yeah,
like tag teams when he had, the
yeah.
DIYs, the AOPs, like
War Raiders.
those teams.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's
the
more.
War Raiders.
It's more of the look over here. We're over here. We're over here. Look over here. It's more of a shell game with the tag team, so you can do more with
Yeah,
less. So what you
yeah.
think about that, Iceberg?
No, yeah, I think tag teams, it completes, the show. I mean, you gotta have good tag teams. It's been a long time since I was invested emotionally into a tag team. You know, like
Yeah,
it's just been a long time. Even, I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of missed the boat on the Usos and all that. I didn't really see their run. I mean, I seen it, but again, it's just been a long time since I've been emotionally invested in a tag team. And a lot of that has to do with even when you have good tag teams, I feel like it says I know eventually they're gonna break up pretty fast and go their solos.
yeah,
So it's hard for me to invest in a good tag team. But when you start getting these gimmick tag teams in there, like we were talking about earlier, I feel like then now it's more like, oh, they're only together,
right.
and so every story revolves around them, and I feel like there's more storyline options to have, with a
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
tag team.
that's the thing about tag teams is like a good majority of the time, I'm kind of getting tired of this. Like they eventually break up, or one turns on another, or they go their separate ways. Like,
Hmm.
when was the last time you seen like a tag team, like pure tag team wrestlers that never broke up or didn't go their separate ways? That's always happened. Like Matt and
Yeah.
Jeff, that happened with them.
Man,
The Dudleys, they went their separate ways. Like,
so you see a lot of people lately, they, in the last year, they've been talking about, oh, put Montez Ford into a singles role. And now, don't get me wrong, I think he'd do a lot better than Carmelo or um what's the other guy? Uh, doesn't matter. I
Yeah,
think Montez Ford has the potential to be a single star, but I don't want to destroy the Street Profits. The Street Profits are a good tag team, you know.
yeah.
So I'm not really with that shit.
And I think it's the eventual outcome of a tag team for that one of them too. Because don't get me wrong, every tag team has one guy is clearly the better one out of the two, and sometimes it gets to the point to where maybe you're just holding that other person back. But man, that comes like way down the line though.
Yeah,
You know,
man. 10, 11 years. Not like we're not talking like, bro, if you guys only been in tag team 4 years, stay a tag team. Like, in my
yeah,
opinion. But so real quick, because we almost touched on a topic I want to touch on later because it has more, and I don't want to veer too far off. Let's switch topics. So a lot of people have been talking about the possibility of the return of Bad News Barrett, and oh, I gotta edit that. And this to me is another one where I'm like, I don't want to ruin a good thing. So Bad News Barrett, that's Wade Barrett. And right now he's commentating. And now the thing is, if we get a return, it could be cool. It could be cool. Don't get me wrong with him and Gunther, or him and Sheamus. I and I always wanted Wade to have a better career than he was given. Um, I was a fan of Wade. So, but to me at this point, I almost like him better as a commentator. Um, and if he returns, that kind of goes away. So personally, I'm kind of torn, but I'm swaying more towards I don't want to see a return of Bad News Barrett because the return at this point is just not going to be enough to lose my investment in him as a commentator. What do you think about that, Iceberg?
yeah. I think if anything's done right, it could be done. It could work if it's done right. But you got to ask yourself, if he does get in there, where does he fit? I mean,
Right.
they could barely get, have as many superstars as they have. They could barely, fit in any. They got 5 or 6 main event cards on each, pay-per-view, and it's because they just have this abundance of talent. And so, yeah, don't get me wrong, he's great. I like him on the mic. And I'd rather have him come like in and out, maybe like as a little, if he wants to interfere a little bit or he wants to go out there and bounce around a little bit, sure, But where would he fit? To me, it's just, he might have a couple of good matches and then what? So I don't know. I'm not against it, I guess, but
What you think, JT?
Me personally, yeah, I agree with you on that. I do love him on commentary. I don't think he should return as a wrestler, like like full time. I could see him doing like a one off feud, or even do something like they did with Nigel McGuinness and AEW, like have like a one off match or something like that. So I could see him like like doing like a one time feud, maybe put like Gunther over a little bit, like do something like that, but not return as like an actual full time wrestler. I'd be okay with like a one time feud, or even just like a one time match or something like that.
But but after that, you know, the problem is, can you see him returning to commentary? Because then who replaces him? You know, I mean, I guess you could expand Cole and Graves, but like, I don't know. It's just like, is it even worth disrupting that flow? You know, because then would you see him returning to commentary fluidly, or would that be an issue?
He
You
could
know,
just commentate while he wrestles.
like just jump off the booth. You know,
Yeah, like every time,
I
like
gotta go.
he
I gotta
knock.
go wrestle this
Yeah,
match real quick. Hold on.
Kind of like with JR when the Royal Rumble would hit, and all of a sudden his music would play. He's been commenting the whole time, and he'd say, "Oh, hold on, guys!" And he jumps in there. He gets knocked out one time, and then he gets, you know, what I mean, 2 seconds, goes back to the table. He's like, "Man, I almost had it," you know, like, you know. No, yeah, like, you know, that's what I'm saying is I'm not totally against it, but I just don't see where it would fit. A one-off for sure. You know,
Maybe
he had
like you said, like if he does come off the booth and he's in his suit and he just does some interference or some, you
yeah,
know, type ruckus thing, and then has like one match
yeah,
and stays commentating, almost like Michael Cole when he had his WrestleMania match. He was kind of just getting overly involved, had one match, got his ass fucking handed to him,
yeah,
and
yeah,
went back.
and you never know, man. I mean, Barrett fucking goes in there and tears the house down. Then shit, maybe there's a spot for him. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but like I said, anything done right could, you know, could work, but you know, it just depends on how they do it.
So